Hey guys, what's up? So today I want to do a quick little overview of the steps it took me to build my computer. Starting with my tower, I picked a sleek black front which swings open to reveal two bays where I'm going to be able to put a CD drive and SD cards. It's a very noise cancelling case, hence the foam. There's my SD card reader and my very cheap DVD drive I picked up. Then I have my MSI Z97 motherboard, followed by my i7-4790K processor capable of overclocking. That's my 600 watt power supply, and that is 16 gigabytes of RAM, and in the back I have my 250 SSD. So the first step I took here was setting up all my parts outside of my case just to make sure everything works. So I'm going to use my motherboard box as a little base to set my motherboard up on, and then I'm going to get my power supply out of its box and ready to go so I can test all the parts. And then I'm going to take my processor and gently place it in, making sure not to break any pins, and clean the top of it, getting it ready for the thermal paste so I can mount my fan. So now we are applying the thermal paste to the top of the processor in a nice thin coat, and then we will be mounting the radiator that the fan will attach to be keeping my processor very cool. It is a Hyper 212 fan and radiator from Cooler Master. You gotta make sure you tighten it very evenly across the processor because it's a very, very delicate part. Next comes the RAM. This is when you're going to want to consult your motherboard as to which two parts you put it in. There will be 4 on this motherboard, and I put it on the 2 blue ones, which alternate blue, black, blue, black. This step was optional, but that's a wireless card that goes into my PCI slot, so that way I don't have to be hardwired all the time. And that is the fan being mounted to the radiator. Next up is the 24-pin power supply that powers most of the computer, which is going into the 24-pin slot, and then hooking up my SSD right now to my SATA cable right into the power supply and through the data ports on the motherboard. Okay, once all that is plugged in, that's it. Everything that needs to be plugged in is plugged in. Next thing you want to do is, if you don't have a power button on your motherboard, you're going to want to use a paper clip and touch the power pin consulting your manual, and it should work if everything's plugged in properly.
There we go. And we're done. Everything's working. This is good.
Once that is working, you're able to put the motherboard into your actual build, making sure the video and audio ports line up with the hole on the back of your motherboard. And then screw it in the 6 points it tells you to. Then I hooked up my wireless card, making sure it lined up with the output on the back of the case. And then screwed in my SSD and hard drive into the trays, and then slipped the trays into my build. Then I popped my DVD/CD drive into my build. Then consulted the manual as to where everything is going to have to be powered via the USB ports on the motherboard. And then finally came the 600 watt power supply, making sure the fan is facing the bottom and pull the air up and then I have to hook all that power up to the motherboard. I should note that my graphics card will not be in this build video. That will be coming at a later time. Then I connected the 24 pin to the motherboard, and then did some cable management. And then I tested to make sure the whole thing worked before I put in the side panels, and it did. And that is how I built my computer. Thanks everyone for watching. Go ahead and subscribe for more. Comment down below with what you think. Like the video and share it around, and I'll see you guys later.